Manishma, Ari, this is Justin Kantor.
Hey, how are you?
It's an honor to be speaking with you, man. I mean, how often is it that a gay Jewish male gets to talk to a gay Jewish male icon? So you've been definitely an inspiration, this last decade to me. So let me start with, are you now officially going by the stage name of Sir Ari Gold?
Yeah, I'm officially Sir Ari Gold, yes. I was knighted by the Imperial Court of New York this past year at the Night of a Thousand Gowns. And they do a lot of really great charity work every year, raising money for HIV/AIDS, and so it was a big honor, and I decided to take it on.
Yeah, well, I guess it kind of works in a way, maybe as a double entendre, like if you want to portray a dominant role or something.
Sure.
Okay.
So I don't know how dominant it was if I was kneeling.
Well, you can just experience both sides of the spectrum.
You have to.
Yeah.
In order to know how to dominate, you have to know how to submit.
Very true. Yeah, I think Madonna said something about that at one time. Or
I love how it's like people get so funny about origin stories, and it's like, because I think somebody made some sort of comment about me wearing the leather mask and it being like very erotica or something, and it's like let's not forget that Madonna, when she was doing that whole look and taking from S&M, she was taking it from the gay community and from the alternative sexual community. So
exactly.
So I know a lot of people like to think that everything comes back to her, and I give her all the credit for making things popular.
Right.
But let's not forget where it really comes from.
Full circle.
And it is my right as a gay man to explore those things without necessarily it's simply just being
paying homage to Madonna.
Yeah.
Now, the first single from your new album is Make My Body Rock, which has a markedly different sound from your previous work. And first off, I was wondering, is the title a tribute to Jomanda and their classic?
Well, I was aware of that song, and then my friend Kevin Aviance also did a cover of the Jomanda song.
Oh, right.
And I love all those versions. But it kind of was just the title that came out. I mean, I wrote that song. It was one of those songs which hasn't. I think the last time that I had written a song that quickly was "Wave of You," which was pretty much the first my first single ever that got that was out there.
Right.
And it just was one of those songs that it just sort of wrote itself, like from beginning to end. It just came from from somewhere else, call it God or whatever you'd like, and just sort of came through me and wrote itself very, very quickly. And that was just the title and the hook that came out. So I don't know if it was because of that other song, but I wouldn't be the first songwriter to use a title of an old song.
What inspired you to go in this new musical direction, or who?
Well, actually, I started working with my co-writer on that, Michael Collin. I was sort of wait, hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on. I'm at my parents' house. My mom just made me a nice steak.
Oh, that's nice.
Very lucky man.
World famous. It's hard to get a home cooked meal these days. So.
What was I saying? Michael Collin, and he's an Israeli producer, and we had never met, and he was a fan of my music, and I don't know how he was a fan, because he's not gay, and a lot of my fans tend to be gay. Although I'm always pleasantly surprised when heterosexual females email me or come to my shows and stuff. Although the straight male contingency has definitely been my hardest nut to crack.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Right, exactly, so to speak. And but he loved my music, and he sent me what ended up becoming Make My Body Rock. He sent me a demo of it, and that's when I just wrote the song in 2 minutes. It just came over me, and I think people will be pleasantly surprised because the album definitely has a lot of that electronic feel. Although really, all of my albums have been heavy on an electro sound, even though it had a very R&B flavor and chord structure and song structure to it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I I get criticized for it, but I've always been a fan of auto-tune, and it's not because I can't sing. I like the effect, and I was using it before actually all the rappers started using it.
Right.
And so that's just something that I like to continue to explore, and I like to mix it up with non-auto-tune sound, and then I like to use it as an effect, but not as a primary way of hearing the vocal.
Yeah. Can you tell me about some of the guest artists that are on this album with you?
Well, I wanted to work with some of the transgendered artists that are making really great music right now out in the scene, and I really respect and admire their courage to put out original music and just be talented and fantastic performers. And so I definitely I'm working with. I can have a song that I have Mila Jam, who is AKA Brittany Houston.
Okay.
And Peppermint as well.
Is that Peppermint Gummy Bear, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I collaborated with him on my last album as well, but I wanted to get Adam Joseph again to come and do a song with me as well, because of probably of any other openly gay artist out there, I'm probably I think he's my personal favorite. And then I also collaborated on a song with Sarah Dash, who from the original the Bluebells, which later turned into La Belle.
Mm-hmm. She's got a lovely voice.
Yeah, I mean, her, Nona Hendrix, Patti LaBelle, pretty legendary. So it was a huge thrill. And she's, a really, really cool woman and very politically involved and has been a champion for LGBT rights as well.
Okay, that's good.
She collaborated with Sylvester, who, a lot of people have, said that I was the first artist to be openly gay from the beginning of my career and in pop music. And, really the very first one was probably Sylvester, even though, he was, I guess, disco.
Right.
And back then, people weren't really talking about that to the press or anything like that. So it was kind of a different game. But
so since you mentioned the video, let's talk about that. When I watched it last week, finally, I was quite taken aback, and I have to say, I'm a real wuss when it comes to bloody stuff. Thriller haunted me throughout my childhood, and to this day, I can't even be near a TV screen airing it. But anyway,
you don't watch True Blood, I guess.
So I'm probably missing part of that whole connection with it, because I know you've talked about it being inspired by that. But yeah, it's not really my cup of tea. But yeah. Anyways, so I read that you're kind of trying to send a message about heterosexual marriage with the video.
Well, it's not that I'm trying to send a message about heterosexual marriage, but we have so much a cultural conversation about the merits of gay marriage, and we don't spend nearly as much time talking about heterosexual marriage and what are some of the problems that heterosexual marriage have sort of built in with it. Whether it's a history of sexism and ownership of women, or whether or whether it's a high divorce rate, or whether it's child abuse, or